afternoon, everybody. Today I'm going to give you a tutorial on how to use the Ramble app. Now, in order to start this, obviously you would use the play button there on the top hand of the screen, as you can see. Now, what you're going to get when you use this application, let's say like you're in a busy area such as like a town, shopping mall, or even just a grocery store. When you start to use this application, you're going to basically get different nodes and pings of many different people who are infiltrating into your network. Now, I assure you, this app does not use Wi-Fi. It's not detecting these things from Wi-Fi. The only reason why you're detecting these things is because this stuff is basically Bluetoothing. They're basically Bluetoothing their equipment into your network, stealing data such as location data, personal data, any kind of stuff you can possibly think of that that would be useful to them against you. And in the end, you always got to remember, it's not about the collateral. It's not about the money. It's always about you. You could, no matter what the situation looks like, where they try to basically get it to, seem like, it's all nothing more than a highly deceptive psyop. You don't want to fall for that. The first thing to always remember is that, whatever their actual motives between what they're trying to do and what they're trying to gauge in, is that it will always include your reactions every time. Everything from what they do, everything from what they utilize, always deal with your reactions all the time. So anyway, you would basically find out that several different nodes, as you can see under the history here, because I did do a few today. Now, what I've done is, as I was going out, just during my travels or whatever, right? I was able to pick all these things up. And looks like I'll have to enable that. And I'll have to turn that off too, just in order to view this. But what you're going to see here is that each time these things ping, they leave a precise location and a precise time frame on when these things were, scanned and sensed, as they were being detected into my network, stealing data. So when you go to these nodes or whatever, what you can actually do is click on them. And as you see the Google Maps there, right, you can actually click on this. And then as I zoom in, and hold on, I'm make it even more easy for you to see. You can actually see where these people are at, right on the map, just like that. Now, people, this is the Walmart shopping center, as you can clearly see. I can zoom out, and you can see the whole lot, including the street right next to it. So what I did, as soon as I walked into the store, I had my camera glasses on. So I was filming and able to see exactly who was in the area, who was in the vicinity, because they're always going to be on the lookout for you. I don't go looking for these perpetrators. They all, remember, they always are going to come looking for you. Don't let them try to tie up your evidence to where it's basically making you looking for them instead of the other way around. You got to keep that, you got to keep it to where it actually is. These people are immediately paid off and are orchestrated and are told to actually show up in these locations prior to your arrival. And it doesn't matter what location it is. I'm going to show you a few more besides just that one. And it's just the same thing. You get information, and this one's detecting 10. Now, you go to satellite view and go to heat map, give me their exact locations. Now you see that there's one out there in the front of the store, right there at the front. And then looks like there are a total of 6 on the inside. 1, 2, or possibly 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. No, it looks like it's 6. It's 6. So as I'm actually walking around and I get these, these things on this application, I can look at my actual footage on my camera glasses. I highly recommend camera glasses because they're more inconspicuous. And you can also just look at the time frame, what time exactly, which part of the film, happened at what point in what area, and then you can utilize this in being able to match that up with whoever that person is. It's going to be kind of difficult due to the fact that people wearing masks. However, you'll still be able to get, their exact, their ethnicity, their race, what type of color they are, their height, their gender, all of this information, and as well as just how they look like as as a general person. You be able to get all that information. So this is usually what is happening to you whenever you find yourself in a store. These perpetrators show up in their colors. They do their little gesture and stuff. They do the little idiotic things that they're told to do. But you got to understand the reason why they do these things is to get your reaction. It's for you to tune in. What you need to do is tune yourself out. Go ahead and get your evidence, because that's going to be in your line of defense, because there will be times where they will try to set you up. That will happen. Don't ever stop taking evidence down, but do not let that stuff consume you. Do not let this stuff get you in over your head, because remember, this technology is very, deceitful, and with them hacking their way into your device, this is why I gave the warning out about, the Drone Watcher. But the Drone Watcher app is actually doing pretty well. You just got to make sure, be smart about it. Get your evidence down and let that be as it is. Remember, when you go out with the camera glasses, do not go looking for them. Don't. They will always come looking for you. They will always put themselves in your line of view space. That's what you want your evidence to be like, because it shows that you're clearly minding your business. You're not looking for these people, but miraculously they keep showing up in your view space. And remember, these camera glasses, people are capable of, this is allowing people to see the world as you see it through your eyes. So you'll be able to easily show this to somebody, get it documented, have several different footage of it, have the video footage of you just walking around, and then they can just look back at maybe these things. You know what I would do, and what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna time frame these things together. I'm gonna pick out which ones exactly match up with which time frame, and then I'm gonna have it on a play-by-play, having both the video playing and both me, going to these ones that match up with that specific time frame, with those people who show up. Now, a lot of these, perpetrators tend to be very, very obvious. The thing is that there's perpetrators who are not even in colors. Yeah. Well, at the same time this is happening, there are going to be people who are not even aware this is even going on. You got to keep that in mind. What they want to do is basically paint a portrait of you being mentally ill or acting out and acting in, more in an aggressive nature, being a threat, stuff like that. They want to paint that narrative of you for the public view, so they can just go off and say, well, this person's crazy. Oh, this person's a pervert. Oh, this person's dangerous. Random stuff like that. But then when you do the actual research into what their organizations is about, you know that they're full of shit. You know for a fact that they're nothing but a bunch of hypocrites, that this whole operation ties into a whole bunch of, blood occultism, a whole bunch of human trafficking, and a whole bunch of deceptive bullshit that they have been running around for years. So anyway, let's take a look at another one so you guys can get the bearings of this. As you see, I pushed the play button there. Remember, this app does not use Wi-Fi, so anybody who would try to use the excuse saying that, maybe you're just detecting people's networks, that's bullshit. It only uses Bluetooth and location data. That's it. Nothing more and nothing less. So, when you may be wondering, well, you can use a screen recorder to just get that. You don't have to just use the screen recorder, buddy. You can use the export and import, and also to be able to put this over towards your file system. When you put it over towards your file system, and you'll be able to offload that onto a removable flash drive, onto a removable, and yes, they do make flash drives for your device, off onto even a micro SD card. Even that works. You can use this for that. This will allow you to basically show evidence that many other people out there who have not seen this will also be able to understand it. Because there's no way, you're not scanning for networks, and the only time you ever scan it for, Wi-Fi networks, it's not going to say it's coming from a phone. It'll be very rare if it says it's coming from a phone. Sometimes it does. But the thing is that, you're not scanning for Wi-Fi. So if this app doesn't, use Wi-Fi and it's not scanning for Wi-Fi, then clearly Wi-Fi is not what this thing is picking up. No. These are people in your network stealing data and trying to figure out where you're at, where you're going, where you're going to be at, and et cetera, et cetera. So, I want to shine some light on a little something or whatever. Now, I'm not really going to, I don't think I'm going to show it yet, because I want to find as many of these channels as I possibly can so people can understand. Then we can do a comparison, because I want other TIs to see this too, because what you're going to find is that you may not even be aware that these bastards are also discrediting you as well. The thing about that, in fact, I just go back to the app and let it sit there. The thing about that is that, you know, there have been channels out there who have been discrediting TIs. I cannot recall this other guy's channel name, but I do have it in a playlist. It is private. I'm not going to publicize it yet. Not yet. I want to find as many as I can before I make it public. And then you guys can do, you know, just go in there, scroll through their vids and see if they've been talking trash about you. Now, the thing about that trash talking is that these guys are super stupid when they do that, because they don't realize that they drop key points off. Key points that relates to what you're going through, and even possibly some things that they have mentioned that you haven't even talked about on film. And to give you guys a prior example of this, now this is not a YouTuber that did this, but this was back when I was in Baton Rouge. So I was doing laundry at one point, right? Now this guy who shows up the next time I go to check on my laundry, he wasn't in there when I put my stuff in the machine, in the washer. So around like a half an hour or maybe like 45 minutes later, I'll go down there to check on my clothes. I always make sure, like, you know, I show up at least 3 minutes before the load finishes. However, I had no freaking idea that if people basically, you know, unplug that machine, that the thing just automatically unlocks. I did not know about that. So that's a warning to people out there who are also out there washing their clothes. Do not leave your clothes, because they will screw with that. The only difference is that, you know, if you're living in a residence, that residence has a camera system watching, and you're taking your, you know, you're basically are jotting the time frame down. There's not much they can do without exposing themselves. And the camera crew are going to, you know, if they try to cover that up, they're just going to obviously expose themselves as well. They're not going to do that. No. So anyway, I go down there to go check out my laundry, and it turns out this guy is there, and he's right in front of the machine. Now, again, this guy didn't see where I put my laundry in. He didn't, and there was more than one machine running. So he just basically said, "Oh, I wasn't finna touch your clothes. I wasn't finna go dig through your laundry." I'm like, I never said you. First off, I never said you were, and I never told you that was my load of laundry in that machine. So how the hell would you even know that? You see where I'm getting at? You see where I'm getting with this? It's situations like that that you need to keep an eye out for, because there are going to be times where these trolls get way too ahead of themselves, and they're going to basically trip over their own feet. And I've caught some of them doing just that. There was one particular by the name of, I'm not gonna say his name. It is in the playlist. He showed Mike Chapala's vid, but he didn't show the whole thing. I exposed that shit for what it was. The fact that he didn't show what that woman's neck was looking like, and I called it out for what it is. The fact of the matter is, they're ever gonna show the damage what this nanotech has done to people. They're not gonna go after people's channels who have undeniable proof of what's going on. They're not gonna do that, because they would just embarrass themselves. That is the undoubtable truth. They are relying on people's channels who are automatically participating into the portrait without even realizing what they're doing. Yes, you're taking the necessary information down. Yes, you're basically getting your evidence down, but they are preying on that, and they are relying on your participation in order to basically to discredit you. Every time they come up with an excuse saying, "Oh no, you're crazy," they want to come up with an excuse saying, "Oh no, you're mentally ill. Oh, you don't know what you're talking about. Oh no, you're stupid." In all kinds of this disgusting and just mean, negative nature type of energy stuff that's just make you feel miserable. You don't even go out looking for these people, but they're always around every single damn corner, there to just be ready to act out on different acts that are basically portraying to you, meant for you to see. And people who are not aware that this is happening, they don't see that as an everyday thing. They see that as just something completely random, and they see you freaking out about it. What do you think those people are gonna think? And that's what they want. Don't give them that. You are damn well stronger than you know. The only difference is we just didn't have methods to basically track and trace these bastards. But now we do. We've even got ways to even track their equipment, but they're scared to leave the crap on because they don't want me finding it. They don't want you finding it. They don't want any of us doing that. And the problem with that equipment is that they are watching us in real time. Because of them watching us in real time, they are alerting their perps when to act and when to not act. So whenever you come out and you know some shit's been going on, what do you think that's going to do? By the time you go out there, there's not even going to be anybody around. Especially if you are on proper property and they have no business out there. They're especially not going to be around for you to see them. Heck no. However, I'm going to also mention something about another app. Hopefully I didn't go too far with this video. I'm only at 15, not too bad, okay? And I'm going to end it off with this because I do have other videos that I want to upload for you guys, but that's going to take some time, okay? So, the app known as N8 State, I'm no longer recommending that because I looked at the permissions that it needed, and it's asking for identity. I'm not certain as when they started asking for this. I knew they wanted to charge you $1, but I didn't. As far as the identity thing, look, I'm all for finding ways to heal ourselves, to be able to protect ourselves, but it's kind of sketchy that they would need your identifying information just for you to use the application. Honestly, my highest recommendations for any type of device is a Google phone, Graphene OS. Now, I have yet to use these devices, but anything that's not using Google, which comes with practically, backdoors, built-in backdoors into its system files, as well as, the stupid Facebook app, which you can't even uninstall, as well as its system files as well, unless you jailbroke your freaking phone, and that's taking a big risk because if you don't know what you're doing, you're gonna probably make your device, your expensive device that you spend a lot of money for, irreparable, and no one wants that. So, with that out of the way, that's all I pretty much got to say. If anybody has any other troll channels of who have been talking trash about TIs, please let me know. Also, I want to give a special thanks to Trials of Hurley because she made a recent vid that actually exposed one of these bastards. And it turns out this guy's videos is going on 7 freaking months doing nothing but just attacking targeted citizen. And I'm like, dude, what the hell is your deal? What is your obsession with this guy who is not even... And I know, you all know, that this shit that is happening is quite real. It is. I could show, and you know something else? I actually did try reaching out to some of these trolls before on YouTube. I tried. But the thing about that is that what I did, and I did upload the footage of this on my second channel. You can go over there and see it for yourself. I'm not talking about Mischievous M2. I'm talking about Mischievous M, the very first Mischievous M. So you go there, you can see it for yourself. I thought maybe they just didn't see, convincing evidence. So why not actually show them convincing evidence? I had convincing evidence to show them. Did they want to see it? No. They didn't want to see it. They just want to go after people who are just basically putting their statements of what happened to them in their lives based off what this program is doing. And what do? They still want to go out and attack them, regardless, with their bullshit logic. And I call it bullshit logic because, it's supposed to be logic just because you've seen it on Fox. It's supposed to be logic just because you've seen it on CNN. It's supposed to be logic just because you read it in a book. It's supposed to be logic just because you've seen it in an article or a news article. People, we can't trust this crap anymore. They'll put out there any bit of nonsense and hoping to people to say this is just the facts. This is just what you're supposed to believe. This is just how it is. So are we not supposed to question the actual stuff that they are claiming as facts? Look at the whole scenario with 2020. Look at how fucked up that was. If that's not a wake-up call that you need to start questioning a lot of stuff that's out there, I don't know what is. I was telling people, please, start looking up, start researching the religion that you're in. Please do, because they have been changing stuff in these Bibles, and it is not for the better. No. That's the next video that I actually wanted to upload this other video because I had it on the other channel. I guess what I could do, instead of bothering with uploading it, I could do this for you guys to where I'll just simply have the link to it so you guys can just go straight to it. I figured that would be better. So the link to that video, which, talks about the further corruption within religion, dealing with the whole, new age of Jesus thing, and there's a lot of Freemasonry dealing with that. So you can go in and check that out, get informed about that, because we've already covered the whole thing with the fake Jews and how a lot of these politicians are dealing with that, who are in office, and where a lot of this stuff is just coming from. And you best believe the rabbit hole is a hell of a lot deeper than that. With that out of the way, I hope everybody's having a wonderful evening. And as always, minus the targeting, stay strong with positivity, stay fierce against negativity. Good night, everybody.